it's Christy here from Sweet Girl Designs. Today I'm on the Paper Issues blog with a special layout documenting the books that I read in 2016. I'm using papers from the collection Cute Girl along with some bits and pieces from the Ali Edwards story kit or read kit, I guess. And I'm also using some alphas from Maggie Holmes and Paige Evans, along with these labels that I got from Pretty Little Studio. And so I started by printing out all the 3x4 photos on my Canon selfie. I just took screenshots or I saved images from Google Images of the books that I had read. I've been documenting the books that I've been reading for I think about since like 2013 is the last list. So I just keep a list throughout the year of the books, and it's funny because before kids, I would easily get over 50 books a year, which is about one book a week. And since having children, I'm averaging only about half that. So actually in 2015, I did a layout similar to this where in the back of my Project Life album, I did a layout with the books that I had read. And in 2015, I think I only read 16 or 17 books. And so this year I read 24. So pretty excited that it's improving, even having two kids in the mix. But yeah. So what I did was I printed out all the images, and then I just went through my 6x6 paper pad from Cute Girl. I wanted to like use up some of this collection, and I remembered that it had some bookish items in the ephemera pack, like this acetate piece that I'm using. So yeah, I just wanted to use it up. So I trimmed down some of the 6x6 papers, and I used some of the offcuts to layer up to make a 3x4 card, and I did all that before filming. And I started this layout, by having a bit of a title card. So it just says books read in 2016. And I used those black thickers from Maggie Holmes. And then the read acrylic piece is from Ali Edwards. And then I used a little label from Pretty Little Studio and just wrote in the word in. And now I'm using the stickers from the Cute Girl sheet. They had numbers 1 through 5, I believe. So I used the 2 and the 4 to put 24. But then I decided I didn't really like the 2, so I took a thicker 2 from the Paige Evans Take Me Away collection and just swap that out. And I like the color contrast of the pink and the black. And I'm using the Pocket Protector Design A from Becky Higgins, and because it has the 4x6 spots, I had to kind of layer up the two 3x4s on a 4x6 card. So I'm just using the 4x6 cardstock cards from Becky Higgins, and then just layering them on there and then trimming off the excess. I'm not sure why there was excess because both my things were 3x4, so I'm not really sure what was up with the sizing. So you'll see me do that quite a bit just to fill those 4x6 pockets. And I just don't want it to shift. In the past, I've used like washi tape on the back just to put those two cards together, but it's pretty flimsy to me, and so I just like backing it on the cardstock card. So yeah. So far I have used a few items from the Ali Edwards story kit, one of which is this is my favorite book. And please don't judge me on the books that I've read because I do read quite an eclectic mix. I am in a book club and we meet about once every 5 or 6 weeks. So there is some definitely some really, really good reads. But I also read some garbage, which you'll see not quite on these first two layouts, but as we get going here. The books aren't in any particular order. I didn't date them or anything like that. I just kind of filled it in. And so it's going to be 4 layouts, and on each layout there's, I believe, 6. Yeah, 6 books. And then just a mix. I was going to do 8 books per layout, but I wasn't sure how it was going to look in my album, and I decided to go with 4. So, all right. So anyway, what I was going to say was that card on the first layout said my favorite book. My favorite book that I read for 2016 was called Landline by Rainbow Rowell. And I actually read 2 books by Rainbow Rowell this year. I really liked Landline. Most of her stuff reads more like young adult, but Landline was more mature, I guess, and I just really liked it. I could relate to it a little bit, and I highly recommend it. I also really enjoyed Where'd You Go, Bernadette, which you can see on this layout. It was a really interesting read and pretty quick as well. So yeah, on the top right hand corner there, I used one of the cards from the cut apart sheet, which has this cute little girl with her eyes closed, and I paired that with the book Bird Box, which says "Don't open your eyes," and it's pretty much kind of like a post-apocalyptic book about kind of like this yeah, this creature of sorts that if you look at it, you die. So I thought that was pretty fitting that it had the eyes closed, and I just used the thickers there with a label to write scary. It wasn't really like scary, like frightening, but just like, whoa, like it would be pretty terrifying to live in a world where you couldn't open your eyes. So yeah, it was a pretty good read too. Yeah, an interesting read. All right, so now I am using some tags. These are from the Atwell collection, and I just had them in my stash. Again, just kind of trying to stash bust a little bit before all the new releases from CHA get released. And so I thought the colors matched pretty well, and I just used some of the baker's twine that I had laying around, and the colors matched pretty good as well. And then I just used some puffy stickers from the Cute Girl collection. Again, just trying to get rid of some of this stuff. And a lot of the ephemera pieces and stickers in the Cute Girl collection don't really fit, I guess, with like my everyday life. I like these teepees, and I use a unicorn on the other page. So I thought I'd have some fun with it and just kind of use some of these random embellishments because it was just fun. So yeah. Alright, so now we're on the third of 4 layouts. I'm just using this acetate piece on this gray pattern paper just so that it stands out a little bit more. And there I go, backing some of these cards on the 4x6 as well. On this page, I use one card from Posh, from Simple Stories, just because I needed another pattern paper. And I thought the colors worked pretty well. So that's in the bottom right hand corner. It has like the navy and then the polka dots. So all the polka dots match the Cute Girl collection pretty well. And I just add this tag. This is from the ephemera pack, and I chose it because of the yellow matched the Harry Potter book. And I'm using also these puffy stickers from Freckled Fawn that I've had in my collection for quite a while. And I'm just going to add the thickers as well to write out Chicklet. So in this layout, there's quite a few books that, well, 3 I guess. So 2 books from Nicholas Sparks that are kind of like my guilty pleasure. One of the girls in my book club like absolutely refuses to read any Nicholas Sparks, so it's kind of a bit of a joke with us that I enjoy reading his work, but it's a good, like, that See Me book is probably his best, I think, his best book that he's written. It was different. It wasn't the typical formula that he usually uses. And then embarrassingly, I read It's Not Okay by Andy Dorfman. If you don't know, she's from The Bachelorette and The Bachelor, I guess. She was one of the final three with Juan Pablo, another guilty pleasure. So anyway, uh, um, in the summertime, Bachelor in Paradise was airing, and they referred to this book like several times. So I'm like, I have to read this. Anyways, yeah, I'm a little bit embarrassed by that one. But Harry Potter was a big deal in 2016. Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. So I put HP Love, Harry Potter Love, and I used the chipboard piece with the little crown uh, for, like, Half Blood Prince kind of a reference. And then I'm just layering up these labels just to kind of fill some space. I do all my journaling off camera, and I just pretty much talk about the books, some of the books that I read, and pretty much what I've been rambling on about incessantly. And then when I was looking through the stickers, I saw this wand, and I'm like, I have to use that. It's Harry Potter, so it's not really like a wizarding wand. It's like a kind of a fairy princess kind of a wand, but still, I needed to use that. And yeah, I'm just adding another gold paper clip to that. And I used one of those ephemera pieces that have the books. So I'm happy that I used those up. And we are on the fourth and last layout. So the way that I'll have this set up in my album is these will just fall at the end of the album, and then the backing page will still be kind of like a recap of the year. So it'll have all the books and then a recap. So it'll follow the last week of 2016 with the books and then our yearly kind of photos and recap kind of thing. All right, so now I'm doing the card for After You, and I'm just going through all the ephemera, and I thought I would use this chipboard girl because the main character dresses kind of eclectic, and the little chipboard girl reminded me of her character. And I read this book after seeing the movie Before You. I have read the book Before You, but quite some time ago. And so, yeah, the little chipboard girl just reminded me so much of the character in the movie as well as the book. And I swapped out one of the cards for this read card from Allie Edwards. And then looking through my stuff, I found these speech bubbles, which I meant to use but forgot about. And those are from the Read Story Kit as well. And so that one says For the Love of Books, and the other one says Bookworm, and the colors match perfectly. And then I just add some of the chipboard hearts just to add some more black into this layout and some more texture as well. And then I just had these offcuts of these labels, so I decided to layer those up and add a puffy sticker. I do end up removing that yellow one just because I wasn't really loving the way that it looked, but that orange puffy sticker says LOL because that Furiously Happy book was pretty funny. I actually listened to that one on audiobook because it was right after I had Adeline, and so I wasn't really able to hold a physical book while nursing her. But I've really gotten into reading books on my phone. So when I'm nursing Adeline, I will read a book on my iPhone, and I really like the way that I'm able to do that, I guess. And on this card, it says Book Club Picks, and I laid all those alphas on there and then decided I didn't really like the way it looked. So I do end up adding some pattern paper to the top of that card. And I just wanted a little something to this card, so I used the remnants of this chipboard scalloped piece that I had used previously on the next chapter card, I think in the second layout. And it has like this weird, it broke in half and it had like this weird white space. So I tried to lay this cat on top, which makes no sense at all. But I ended up removing that and just coloring in some of the white that showed because it was broken. And so I'm just adding some more black just to tie into that read, read, read card a little bit more, just to bring in the black and white and then layering that on top. And so after I do the journaling on this card, it's just going to talk about all the books that we read in our book club for 2016. So my favorite book that we read for book club was probably, oh, there wasn't that many like amazing ones this year actually. And I feel like some of them I didn't read. Like, so if I didn't read it, I didn't include it. But A Spool of Blue Thread was one that we read for book club, and I didn't really like that one. But I think maybe The Curious Charms of Arthur Pepper, I think it's called, was probably my favorite. It wasn't amazing, but it was pretty good. Um, yeah, I hope 2017 is better for our book club picks. All right, so now I'm just going through again and trying to incorporate these speech bubbles that I had forgotten about. So I add that speech bubble that says love books to the unicorn card. Um, oh, we also read Bird Box. I think Bird Box would probably be my favorite book club pick for the year. It's just a little bit different of a choice than we normally go for. All right, so again, I'm just adding the speech bubbles just to make it a cohesive look throughout the 4 layouts. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I do plan on finishing up my December daily and then going hard on Project Life process videos. So thank you so much for tuning in, and please check out Paper Issues blog post for more information on these layouts. And as always, use the code Christy to save 20% off your order. Thanks so much. Bye.